Yeah, Bitcoin Cash is definitely doing better than I predicted. But I showed you the levels that it could go all the way up to, and I think it's just hitting probably close to one of the tops of those levels. That one level had it up to like 1218 somewhere in there. I think like 18. Uh, so, but yeah, if you go back to yesterday's video, I had some. Basically, when it broke through that channel, it's a big zone that it's going to be going up in. Um, and we talked about that yesterday, so I don't need to do it again. All right, cool. We got that done. All right, so I got some questions, in the comments, and this is really just more so for day traders, right? This isn't an introductory how to deposit money into Bitcoin. This is the real deal, how to flip it, in the kitchen, whip it, how to whip the work. Is that what the kids say? Whip it good. Somebody said Zcash, so let's pull that up real quick. Before, thank you, Miss Debbie, for the Reese peanut butter cups. I do appreciate it. I'm gonna actually go buy some, and I'm gonna take a picture and put it in the Facebook group. Thank you for that. Yeah, I love Reese. Oh crap! Goodness gracious, Zcash. Yeah, the banks like Zcash, and the banks like Dash. So this is basically, honestly, what's happening now is the banks, hedge funds, industrials, I'll start calling them, are moving their money around, back to where they had it before, right? This isn't like a, new thing. They're just moving it around. And if you have again, this is one of the reasons I'm doing this, is to show you some of the features you guys can start using on the pro version that I never really show in our regular videos. But if you do have a pro version, I definitely recommend every now and then, laying charts on top of each other to start to pinpoint when this money is moving in, when it's moving out, if it's going from one asset class to another. You can kind of see, if we do something like this, we can link track interval, no sync crosshair, no track time. Will that work? Maybe. So what I'm looking at now is these both broke out right there at 1752. Look at that. Right? That's more or less big time money player, picking their favorite horses in the race. Right? And the big money likes Dash, the big money likes Zcash. If you just go to these guys over here and just type in different events, right? Who's more or less, because see, everybody that doesn't understand how these charts work, right? I've been telling y'all to buy Dash for at least a solid week now. If you go to the Facebook group, type in Dash. Come on, Ronson. Michael Sinclair. Come on, guys. We don't do this. Anyways, goodness gracious. Here it goes right here. Here's a post I did a little bit ago. November 7th. This was on Dash specifically because I saw it setting up with the 231 going flat, 77 going flat, and the active green. That's basically a setup for a breakout. I said the 231 should go flat over the next few days. This was back, few days ago, 5 days ago, back when it was 0.04. Should be a good time to buy some while it's still cheap. And when Dash goes up, Bitcoin goes down. At the time I put this post out there, Bitcoin was all-time high, $7,600, $7,400. and Dash was sitting down there in the shadows, just patiently waiting. So again, people that don't know how to read into the charts like that, they will say, oh, they'll do this. They'll probably do exactly what I'm doing right now. Oh, I know why Dash went out. It was the software upgrade. They have cheaper transactions now, and that's what the hedge funds were waiting on. They were waiting for the minute that Coin Journal published this article, and that triggered it right there. There you go. Problem solved. Yes. Thank you, Coin Journal. Let us know the next time you're going to post an article so we can all, prepare for it. Right. That's not how it works, you guys. These charts are already set. The energy inside them is already manifested. It's just a matter of time before it unveils itself in our relative perception. So that's a long way of saying the news doesn't matter. The charts make the news, not vice versa, right? Just the same as if Dash was down 25%, people, wouldn't be saying the software upgrade, helped it, right? So remember, the charts make the news relevant, not the other way around. Because the talking heads on TV talk 24 hours a day, right? And these charts don't break out and move like that 24 hours a day. So that'll tell you right there, if the news was that significant, then these charts would always be jumping around like a little bobblehead Dow, the same ones you see, on those 3-letter channels on TV, right? So long story short, do not pay attention to words on the screen. Look at the charts, look at the numbers, understand the numbers, and you will be much, much, much better off, right? And so one of the questions I got earlier was really with regards to timing up the top, right? Because we can see Dash is looking very, very good right now. We can see Zcash is looking very, very good right now. And one of the things we can do with this method of 7 and 77 is just jump down in our time frame to get a better pinpoint on where the momentum leaves, right? Because essentially what's happening right now, and this is just straight market psychology, we have more buyers than sellers, right? That's why the price keeps going up since that moment in time. On a 7-minute candle, price keeps going up. More buyers than sellers, more buyers than sellers, more buyers than sellers. Price goes up. It can't keep doing that forever. Eventually, people are gonna get tired of buying it. They're gonna look at the price and be like, "Oh my God, why am I want to buy it?" When it's up there. When 2 days ago, on BK's chart, I could have got it for half the price, less than half the price, down there at 0.04, right? So you start to get to a certain point when the market begins to correct itself. And with this video, and then when it starts to do that, that's what you get. You get a big, big red candle when people, say, okay, that's enough, right? And that's actually a classic candle formation right there. It's called a dark cloud cover. And it's called, well, technically, no, that's a bearish engulfing candle. That's like a mega bearish engulfing candle. What a bearish engulfing candle is there it goes right there. It's just a classic candle formation when you have more sellers than buyers, and it's at the top of a hill. So it's basically a run up. And then it's basically like that red candle swallows the green, and it just swallows it. And all of that energy that was built up on that side basically gets pooped out on the other end. But one thing I noticed with this chart right here is you have a breakout, breakdown, flat line, and that flat line is exactly just about the 386 of that flat line. But they don't understand how all of that ties together. That's just one complete cycle right there. That's a 786 retracement level. That's a Fibonacci. If they would have drew a Fibonacci level from the bottom of that candle to the top of that one, they probably would have got the money zone right there with the 786 at the bottom tail. Anyways, We're not here to discuss that, but essentially what you have in Zcash is a big, big, big double bearish candle, which is not good for the future momentum, because you have to think about the psychology now. If you have all of these people, you know, which is essentially twice as many people, if we look at that, and that's why it's continuing 1, 2, right? All the people that were buying it over here, that amount plus a little bit more are now selling it over there. You don't have much of a market left to continue to push it higher, push the price higher again, because that's all the price is equilibrium of buyers and sellers. So now what we see happening is the sellers are saying, okay, you know, Zcash has gone up enough. You know, let's come back down to where we were before. And more than likely, this is where we start to look at the intersections. More than likely, it will be coming into one of these intersections. And this is a 7-minute chart, you guys. A 7-minute chart, but still with the 7 and 77. Hold on, I'm gonna let Chula out real quick. On a 7-minute chart with the 7 and 77, you can still do a pretty good job of understanding the energy inside these candles. You can see I'm leaving Dash alone right now because Dash is actually tailing up. This is actually a another bullish. Looks like it might be setting up for a continuation or a big correction, depending on what candle takes over, depending on what fractal takes over. So we'll leave that alone. Dash is trying to make a decision right now, because right now you see those candles are very, 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 very small. That means the market is like, okay, what's going on? It's like when you walk to the edge of a high dive diving board, and like you realize it's way too high, and you're like, what am I doing up here? I want to turn around and go back, but you really can't. So you just stand over there on the edge for like 10 minutes and just look down, right? That's what's happening right now. The market is trying to figure it out. That's why all of that volume has decreased, which is actually almost a hidden bullish sign that it can actually go higher, which is what it's starting to do right now. Because once the market gets comfortable with it being there, then the buyers will come back. Fractals follow the path of least resistance, which is to continue moving in the direction that they came from, right? So here we go. Here we go. So now with Zcash, what's happening down here? We can see with Zcash that we definitely dropped a lot, right? So this negative energy from that drop more than likely will take us down to one of these major points of consolidation, if that's the end of that cycle. And on the 7-minute chart, this is basically kind of like the rawest of the rawest data. We can see that that little area right there was kind of a lot of market sideways movement. Basically, when a chart, you know, just sits sideways, it's the market trying to figure out what's going to happen. So that's, you know, what's probably next for Dash is just something that looks like that before ultimately something that looks like that to follow the path of least resistance. But what we can do on Zcash's chart is see if we can pinpoint the energy inside this thing using our Fibonacci. Bam, bam. Can we get it? Not there. And that's the bad thing because normally I do my Fibonacci from the intersections, but on a 7-minute chart, I really don't have a lot sometimes. So I have to try to either go back, and that almost hits it right there. But still, that doesn't capture that next wave. So that really, I guess that could be okay. So what this is saying here, yeah, that works. Yeah, it does. What this is saying here is that this breakout we just see on Zcash, right, is not a pump and dump. You can't pump and dump a billion-dollar collective consciousness of free thinking individual, self-interested, inherently biased traders. You can't do it. The market won't let you. You have to understand that there are tens and tens of thousands of individual transactions that are built into every single one of these candles, right? And as a result, over time, the masses kind of develop their own psyche identity, and that's built into the intersections, right? And so now what I'm showing you guys is that this cycle right there is actually what resulted in that breakout right there, right? All the way up to the peak. Because when we put a Fibonacci on and we, just drop it back, boom, boom, where'd it go? Wasn't that it before? I think that was it. Breakout to break down. I had it before. Where was it? Is that it? That was it right there. Right? The 4.2 is basically the natural extension of any cycle. And that's why it's a yellow, because it's a candle on this set. And the yellow is like kind of like the offset. So if it's the 1.6 is the natural extension, and the yellow is kind of like the wick up there. Candle wick. See that? So that's what I do with the color codes. But what that says is essentially what's going to happen now, just the same as we do, a 4 hour chart. This thing is going to consolidate. It's going to, see, this is what happens too. A lot of times it doesn't take all the time. See, this is why I like a 4 hour chart, but you see right now inside of like 3 minutes, the buyers are like, okay, that's enough, right? Even though we reached like what could easily be like the natural extension. I think this thing is basically gonna convert over and start moving sideways down here, more or less aggregating. Let me put a box together for you guys. More or less right in there. That's where Zcash is gonna sit sideways for a little bit, at least probably what, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, somewhere in there. But what's interesting is, and you can see Dash is still just kind of sitting there. Dash is a little bit different. Dash doesn't have like a big sell wall at the top. That's essentially, for all definitions, that's like a sell wall, right? It's going to be very, very hard for Zcash to get higher than this little peak up here. And that's because they had so many sellers up there when they did it, to where basically, and that's why they call it dark cloud cover, because it's like a dark cloud. It's like a rain cloud over your head, that's already dumped on you once, it's still sitting there. So it's not very likely that it's going to let you go higher, right? But inside this chart already, it kind of has this natural level of 0.5, 0.45. And once we hit that level, we'll have a chance to get another little peak. And if we break down under that one, more than likely we'll go all the way down to 0.042, right? And again, as this chart develops, I would modify my relationships. But for now, this relationship going all the way back, to this morning is really what's syndicated in this dialogue right now, right? Let's see. Somebody was talking about Mona, I think, earlier. The 386, somebody said, can you explain the 386 Fibonacci? Yes, I can do that. The 386 is same thing as a 786. It's just the inverse of it. Trying to see how I could do this. The way I use a Fibonacci, breakout to breakdown. I'm sorry, when I said 386, I meant 786. 382 is up there, 786. So essentially, when you have any breakout, right? Let's just say, hypothetically, this was our complete cycle. Hold on, I'll redraw it. See if we can get something in here. Yeah. Let's just say, hypothetically, like that's our complete cycle, right? Which it very well could be. What a Fibonacci extension tool, what the Fibonacci says, what the ratio built inside these candles. I'm trying to make sure it just lines up so we can have a nice, cool example. That's pretty good. Decent for now. So what the Fibonacci says, you can see kind of that as this thing broke up, it hit certain points on the chart, and then it broke back down to certain levels within the chart, right? And basically it's like a ladder, because once it clears one level of the chart, it either steps up or steps down to the next level. So it's like, imagine it's like a snake that's winding, but it's always receptive and responsive to the different Fibonacci levels built, you know, inside the whole relationship, right? And so with the 786, or I'm sorry, the 236, which is technically the 786 on the other way around, basically what that signifies is that is 23%, the 23rd percentile. If I would put the percents up here, right? You would see that 0 is 0, 1 is 100%, and this might be better, you know, for maybe for me to have on the charts as well. But this is basically the 23rd percentile, the 236. The 786 is the 78th percentile. Now, different people use this Fibonacci sequence different ways. So you could easily like go backwards and actually do a retracement. And that's kind of how some people use it. Again, I use it different than most people, but that's what they say is when you catch on the 786. And so that's why I say 786 a lot. It's really the exact same thing as a 236. It's just a matter of what direction I'm moving with the circles. So when I say 786, I really mean this bottom blue line. Whatever our chart shows forming in that bottom blue line range. That's what I refer to as a 786, because statistically, right, when we talk about statistics and probability and correlation and all that good stuff, when something goes up from 0, actually 0 is down here, when it goes from 0 to 1, right? When it goes through that whole cycle, statistically, if you can catch it on that blue box, the 786, then that is your best probability, your best ROI for the future, right? And this is basically what Ethereum is at right now. Ethereum is sitting at that lower blue box on a long-term chart. Let's pull it up. And this is why it's your best time to buy Ethereum. Well, for the past 2 weeks, it was your best time to buy Ethereum. Because if we look at a long chart, like 6-week chart, look at that. And this is why I was saying like Ethereum is very good right now, because on a macro scale, when we go back like months and months and months, it was resting right there on that 786. Right. And this is going all the way back to, where are we at? Slow down, slow down. All the way back to the beginning of this year. So this is like a 12-month cycle, right? But you can see went all the way up to the top, green below orange, broke right back down and caught on that 786. So if you were able, essentially what that means, if you're able to buy it on the 786, that's going to be the best return on your money, because it still has all that energy to get right back up to that 1.0, right? So you see that that's the 1 and that's the 786. That makes sense? Yeah, 386. I apologize. 386. A lot of times I say wrong numbers, so I do apologize. But the 786 and the 236 are essentially interchangeable. If I was to say this was 0 and this was 1, which is what some people do, then they would just flip sides, right? They would just, it's like looking, you know, flipping over to the other side of the paper, but they mean the exact same thing depending on what side of the chart you're looking at. Should I sell my Dash? Let's pull up Dash real quick. So yeah, you could see what's happening with Zcash. It's also interesting too, is that once it gets down to the floor, then the sellers stop, right? Because they can't sell it any lower, right? So that's when that volume kind of just decreases and those candles get really, really small, you know. And also, it's always good to take note of when this consolidation happens, when that sideways market takes over, right? Because one of the rules I learned a long time ago is it normally happens about 2/3 down from the base. So if you have this big sell, you know, sell right there, that thing was 8%. I'm trying to see how I could do this. 2/3 down. How do we measure distance on this thing? Technically, 2/3 down would be, that's 1 right there. Yeah. So technically 2/3 down, again, and this is going back to the 786 theory, your best bet would be to buy it somewhere in there, right? And that's what we just talked about with the 786. That's the exact same concept. We go from 0 to 1, bottom to top, and we buy it between that green and blue bar. Boom, boom. And that's what's happening with Ethereum right now. So Ethereum, you know, is still an amazing, amazing buy, guys. I know it's up a little bit, but you got to look at this money that's been rotating. It went from Bitcoin Cash to Dash. What's next? What's next? Right? And so with me as a day trader, now keep that in mind, Fibonacci, the blue, the 786 at the bottom is going to make you a lot of money, but you have to wait for it. You got to wait for it. So as a day trader, what I don't like to wait, you know, so I want to catch charts to where if I'm able to jump in here at the money zone between that 618 and the 382, you know, and I can catch it and it goes right up, it's a lot easier for it to get back up to that 1.0, especially if this thing goes up from, you know, the top of that money zone, right? So that's when I say, you know, the money zone versus the 786, that's really what it is. Those green bands right there, that's kind of like the central node energy. And then the outer blue bands are kind of like the extreme, you know, flex points. But this whole thing is basically vibrating in resonance with itself. It's a whole complete circuit. And that's why I like Ethereum a lot, because it's just such a beautiful chart that shows you how the energy works, you know, inside all of this stuff, right? So I wanted to use this call to really more go over, you know, trading tactics. So I'm not looking at random charts that, you know, just don't have anything to do with it or don't necessarily have a clean teaching chart. So for example, Ethereum, I knew was very, very clean. So when somebody asked me about the Fibonacci and the 786, you know, that's what I spent the time doing. But if you just want to look at a random chart to see if it's a good time to buy it or sell it, I'm not going to do that right now. Newer charts, what I found, newer charts, for whatever reason, are oftentimes very, very, very easy to draw harmony to. I think that's because they're new entities, right? And they're, you know, in relatively low circulation, mostly owned by people. I don't think the industrials get involved with a lot of these newer funds yet, because they're newer, they're also riskier, right? And the house likes to keep the money safe. So we could check out Mona real quick, and then I can, you know, jump in the chat and see what else is going on over here. So with Mona, I just need to look at the whole thing first. Look at that though. See, this is what I'm saying with like these charts. Like it's just so clean sometimes. And again, this is 0 to 1 and it comes down and your best place to buy it is right there on the 786, and you can see what happens. Like it's literally just like stepping up a ladder and stepping down a ladder. And this thing goes out almost a full month, right? So that's just the market coming to terms with this new entity and then together deciding what they want this entity to become. I like Mona. I think it's pretty good. It reminds me a lot of Bitcoin Cash in the sense that, you know, it came out and had a big run here. So it has a lot of energy inside of it, right? And this has just been recently. Has a lot of energy inside of it, right? And so now, if we look at Mona on a 7-minute, we can see that it's pulled back some. We know that this is the bottom of the macro. So what we can do is draw another Fibonacci for the micro. This is like the inner trade Fibonacci right there. And look at that. Our 786 lines up exactly with the 382 of the micro. So basically that's kind of like a double confirmation of what we saw in the first place. And I just drew that bam, bam, you know, but when you get two major levels that line up like that, that consolidate to each other, that tells you this whole thing is just in resonance with the market, which is good, you know, because then it's not manipulated, right? It's a free entity, which is always good. So right there, and these are the trades that I like. So for example, I think I bought some Mona down here. I bought like 100 Mona. When I saw this thing, not today, but on another day, you know, when you have a quick breakout like that, you want to try to buy it inside that money zone because it's a lot easier to go right back up. You can just think of this as like, you know, a bridge, like it goes up, it comes down, and it goes right back up, right? To where with Ethereum, you know, we had to go up, break down, go sideways, break down, and now we're going to have to wait probably like 2-3 months before we get somewhere back up here. But when you're able to catch it inside the money zone, you literally, you know, just have to wait half the amount of time that it took to get there. So you basically double that amount of time right here, right? Which was in this case 6 hours. We double that time from the money zone, and we're right back where we started. So as a trader, I like catching coins in the money zone. Right. And also, if you're in the chat, please don't flood it with the same questions said. You know, if you're like, I'm literally reading these comments and trying to draw charts, you know, so don't just flood it with 25 responses or 25 comments and nobody else is saying nothing. That's kind of a dick move. That's how people get blocked. So if you want to get blocked, then keep doing it. But for now, you're in timeout. So think about what you did. Pivox. We just did a chart on Pivox. Not going to do that again. Yeah, like, come on, man. You're like the only one in the chart, like, just throwing comments out there every 20 seconds. Don't nobody want to hear you at it? You're not that important, okay? This is a community. What do we got? 400 people on the air right now. You're not that important. Do not do that. Please. Yeah, let's check out OKC. Oh, and I got a trade dash too before we get up off of here. Ooh, this doesn't look bad. That looks a lot better. I like it when coins relative on a 7-minute. What I look for right away is if it's making a move inside of 7 minutes, then I know it's showing up on a 77, and that's probably when the market starts to see it. Look at that. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Okay. Okay, so OK Cash is literally just going up. Where is it on a 343? Yeah. Now the problem it's going to have here. Look, this is OK Cash. So I drew this. You know, those are the macro levels. We can redraw that. Let's redraw this real quick. What's going on, Big Paul? Chart ADX for the group. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, please do that. That would be awesome. So let's check out the levels for OKC, because I think this is a pretty solid coin. We'll do breakdown to breakout right there. And look at that. This thing confirms all the way down. Essentially, you had a wick touch the bottom of the money zone. You had a wick touch the top of the 786. So that confirms that side. And then over here, what I really like is you had a wick confirm the halfway, basically the 0.5. And these candles, you know, confirm that. You have another little relationship down here that probably built that breakout, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. What I wanted to see is what this relationship has to do with this one, right? Because both of them are significant breakouts from a flat line. And so that's what I want to try to figure out right now. Where is this chart going? And what can we expect in the future? One person said they have a question. They're from Germany and their English is quite good. Do you have a manual PDF that he can study? Not yet, but I'm actually in the process of translating all my transcripts. One of the things YouTube does very well is they make a transcript of all these broadcasts. So I'm in the process of finding translators for the different major languages: Spanish, French, German. You know, so hopefully that'll be able to help. And then from that, I'll be able to put together kind of like a hardcover document. I think that's what you're asking for. The problem I see right away with OK Cash is that you have that ceiling right there, right? And let's see how far it goes back. What we can also do is throw our Fibonacci on this side, and bam, that should give us the extension up there, which is close enough. And you see it sticks to the moving averages now, right? The candles are over it, but the moving average sticks. So this is actually easier for me because the moving averages are pretty easy to predict. And you can see it stuck to the moving average right there, right? So that's good. So now we know that we're dealing with a moving average system, which is good, right? But oh, well, actually, we could go a lot higher now. So I do apologize because we got a lot of clearance. Dang it. Hold on. We still have a decent amount of clearance between this moving average and the top of that. Whereas when you look over here, when we hit there, our moving average was all the way down there, right? So with that correlation, we can say, or at least begin to say, that something like that could happen. Let me see, where did that come from? Where did that come from? On top of it. Oh, well, wait, no. Wouldn't that be something like this? That would essentially be something like this. So I think we may be able to do something like that on top of the candle. Yeah, we need the candle to go there. I think OK Cash could break this little ceiling right there, probably get knocked back down at the top of that money zone. You see how it just barely cleared, the candle barely cleared the median point at about 7,000. I think on this run, we'll probably go up to 8,000, come back a little bit, and then keep pushing. Because now at this point, and this is on a 343 too. This is a buy. This is on a 343. This thing is ready to make some money, and it's its second time. It's like pop, pop, right? That's a buy right now. Yeah, this is a buy. And then last one I'll do. Let's check out Dash real quick. Just jump back over to Dash. See what we're gonna do with this thing. Cause I got this money on Bittrex. Out, out, out. All right, good. And so since the start of the video, what I was trying to do, and it looks like it has happened, is give the market enough time to make a decision with what direction they wanted it to go. And basically, since I started this video, you know, this is basically what the market has done, which is kind of sat sideways and replicated itself. But what you'll notice is that that square right there, that's all it's done. And you guys can do this too, is repeated it right there. You see that? But whereas one side of it was going up, this side of it is going down. And that's where you want to start to identify breaks in the system at, right? And you can see that now we almost have more sellers than buyers, you know, to where the sellers are trying to push it down and the buyers are the ones, you know, just responding to it, trying to save it. But literally it's like the inverse has happened. So this is actually good for you guys to see. And now you also notice that that 7-day moving average, the 7 candle moving average, is starting to turn over too, right? So that is essentially when I look to sell on a breakout trade, is once the green starts to peak and do that, and then the candle confirms below the next supporting interval, Fibonacci level, then I know the momentum is broken and the thing has to at least come down here, right? It doesn't look like a lot, but you know, that is 20%, 15%, you know? And remember, these charts are just like a roller coaster. They go down faster than they go up. So a lot of times it's, you know, small win is better than a big loss. And I won pretty good on this trade today. So what I'm going to do right now is jump on out north of 82 BTC. Hopefully I could get 82. If not, I won't worry about it. I'll make it up on the next trade, you know, but this is a good pickup, right? And this is when, after you get out, you know, pat yourself on the back, you know, take the dog for a walk, get away from the charts. You just made some money today. And yeah, now you start to see like that dark cloud cover that we talked about showing up on a much longer candle. This is on a 30-minute candle, whereas when we started this video, we saw it on Zcash on a 7-minute candle. But once it starts to fill out, then the whole market starts to see it. And, you know, they have to respond to it, right? So that's why I like to live on quicker candles than what the market sees. The market sees like a 30, but the big players, a lot of them still look at it a daily or a 4-hour at the quickest. And even when they're doing that, they're not doing what we do. But most of the market, most of the big whale investors use a daily candle. So what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and jump out of Dash at 0.083 because we can see on a 7-minute, it's already turning over. The 7 moving average is turning over, and we're running into this floor. And I know that big candle right there is basically going to be enough to take us to that floor, which will essentially save us about 18% of the ride down, you know? So I keep my Bitcoin in my pocket. Here we go. Boom, boom. Sell it. Get up out of there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let me make sure I get all of my money. 81 is the bid. Aw, 83. That's a big spread right there. What's going on? Let's see if we get to ask. 81. Why is it? Oh, well, there you go. Let me go ahead and just take this. Trying to be greedy. But yeah, that's the biggest thing is just, be patient, ride it out. Granted, a lot of people that sold up here, are happy they sold at 90. I was, doing my little thumbnail when I saw it at 90. And that's why I was like, all right, I got to jump on here because it's not going to stay up there that much longer. But I just sold it at 82. And you can see this thing, and this is on a 7-minute candle, but it's still continuing to go down. Essentially, that 7, the green line, once those candles fall inside of it, they kind of get pushed lower and lower and lower. And it's going to take a lot of energy to pop it out, right? So I'm not worried about that. I got my money and I can go put it somewhere else. Or I can wait, because eventually Dash is going to have to come back to that line and maybe one of the ones below it. If we look at a hour chart now, right? This is when you really start to, do some real work right here. Let me see this real quick. Yeah, that's a bearish engulfing on an hour now. So that's, that was a good thing we got out when we did, because that's not going to hold up, right? You see that right there? And this is an hour. This is a 77-minute chart, but that's basically the market saying, Dash, you never should have been that high. How did you get that high? Swallow you up. Oh, that's what happens right there. When that red candle meets up with that green candle and the big red candle is like engulfing it, swallow it up. And we'll probably catch somewhere around there, 65, 72, somewhere in there. So that's where I'll get back in at. Even, let's do this. Let's do this real quick. I'll just set a target and maybe I'll come pick this up, in a day or so. But I'll say if this is the floor, right, of our breakout, because you kind of see everything started right there. And that's the ceiling, the top of that red candle. I'm going to want to buy between the blue and the green, right? That might be too much. I don't know if it's going to go down that much on this run, but we'll wait. I'm patient. I could easily set a buy at 0.07 because this is kind of like the second little run that it had. So I could set a buy order to right now. I would feel pretty confident about setting a buy right there, between 70 and 73. Because then you'll probably get a little spike to 78, right? But then I think ultimately it's going to pull back a little bit more, probably to right about there. 64, 65, right where I said before. Between 65 and 72. That's where I'd feel pretty comfortable buying it at. There you go. With regards to the 100-day trading challenge, I'm hitting the reset button on that. It was just really a horrible time in the market to try to do it. I had a lot of other stuff I was trying to build out with this channel, so it wasn't right for me to continue to allow days to go by, weeks to go by, and not keep it updated, and also have you guys on the market buying altcoins that are underwater. We're trying to time the bottom. We're essentially catching a falling knife, and we got cut pretty bad. So if you do have anything in that altcoin list, look at the chart. If the green's below the orange, sell it. Buy something to where the green's above the orange, because we do have altcoins at this point in time that are making money. This is one of them. I would say wait, until it gets down here somewhere, 65, 68. Before you look at buying it. Don't go and, think you're going to catch a dip at 78 and ride it back up to 90. That's not going to happen. That's not the way these market cycles work, right? So there you go. I hope this was helpful. At the end of the day, you know, it kind of just goes back to what I talked about in the 2-minute tip of the day this morning. And that is to block out all of, you know, the distractions, right? And just understand what the chart is telling you. Listen to the chart. And like I said, when that green, you know, speaks, the rest of the chart listens. And right now, those candles are following suit. Your boy already made 6% on that sale, you know, since I've been talking to you, right? So that's good. That's good. Did it clear? Did it clear? Yeah, it cleared. Good. 0.081. Bam! That's how you do it, guys. That's how you chart like a boss. I hope this was helpful. I'm not going to get all gassed up and excited. I'm about to go get some dinner, watch a movie with my girl and my dog. You know, I made some money today. I hope you guys are able to make money too. It's a change in the market. A lot of people, you know, the sad part about it is a lot of people are stuck entrenched in how they been doing business for the past year, 10 years, 6 months. Who cares? I don't know. You know, when the fact of the matter is, you got to be like a fish, man. You got to jump. You got to just swim with the tide. Wherever that water is pushing you is the direction you need to go. You know, because I guarantee you, it's people up here that threw in a bunch of money. You know, that big green candle right there. People were throwing in a bunch of money at 0.085, saying, no, Dash should be $1,000. Look at this blog post. Don't read the blog post. Just look at the candles. How about that? Look at the candles, look at the intersections, look at the moving averages, and start making some money. That being said, it's that time of the day. Let's go ahead and go to bossofbitcoin.com. You can see your boy right now. You know what I'm saying? Is literally the boss of the charts right now. They said it's a hard job, but I wake up and go to work 7 days a week. Somebody got to be the boss. You understand? 16 hours a day ain't no joke in front of these charts. This stuff don't come easy. But one of the things I did do was put together a few products available if you're trying to be profitable and prominent and prosperous in the marketplace. You know, I wasn't necessarily bragging, but I do stand as probably the best product of my own product. You know, and that's the ability to make money, the ability to understand the market. And like I said, this is my play account right here. This ain't even a fault. So you know, you can see with Dash, it was pretty easy. And we do have a lot of other trades and charts and essentially coins built into this list. I try to do a lot of the work. I can't make every trade for you, but I can tell you what coins you should be trading. And that's mostly with the profit package, the Dream Team, and most recently the Cryptopolis report. I'm telling you right now, guys, this is the list to own for 2017 and 2018. And it most likely will outpace the rest of the market 5-1. It's a very, very, very powerful list of coins that I have not used in any other chart before. So some people were saying, you know, is it coins from the profit package? Is it from Dream Team? No. When I give you a list, it is like a new creation of my mind as far as the market is moving right then and there. What coins do you need to buy to be, you know, what's going to have the biggest impact in the next couple months, you know, next 3 months? That's what I look at. Boom. And this is it right here. You got the big money players coming to the table, just like I showed you in that Dash and that Zcash chart at the exact same time. Those things broke out, 2 standalone coins, and they broke out, right? That's because the industrials are putting their money on their favorite horses, right? And some of them already got a horse in the race. You know, and a lot of you guys don't even know what horse that is. Well, I'm betting on it right now, and it's already in this report. So $25, that can be yours. It's very, very, very reasonable. Please expect these prices to increase in the future. As I increase my distribution, as I pay for these additional platforms, expect to pay more for my products. And so right now you're getting, you know, you're getting it at the rock floor price. Right now it's on that 786. So if you don't buy it down here, don't expect it to be cheaper in the future. With that being said, I gotta go. I'm about to go watch some TV. You know what I'm saying? Have a good day. Made some money with Dash. Dash is cash. Just like your boy said. Signing out, this the boss. Your boy BK, no matter where you stay, from Brazil to the Bay, California, all the way back out to Jerk Money. Let me see this real quick. Let me see. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Can I hit it one time? Ah, man. It don't like my camera. Oh, well. I was going to try to give y'all some FaceTime, but, you know, they don't even like, Google must not like my face. They already demonetized my videos. They don't like me helping the people make no money. I guess they don't like my face either. Signing out, this the boss, your boy BK. Have a nice day. Copy and share this video. Take to somebody. Show them how to chart like a boss one time. Come join us in the Facebook group. #1 Bitcoin group in the world. 15,000 of my best friends come together 7 days a week. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Stay cryptic, y'all. Peace.